Hello and welcome back to part 6 of box 6 of our 45 RPM vinyl records. And this is going to be an interesting episode here. We're going to get into some TV theme songs, some comedy records, some novelty songs, and some movie soundtracks. So, starting off with Batman theme by Neil Hefti. I'm guessing that's how that's pronounced. And the B side of that is Batman Chase. Now, I know I've got another copy of this Batman theme with a different B side, but it's not here in this stack today, so that'll be another day. Moving on, we've got Bonanza. And the B-side to that one being the San Francisco Blues, theme from the TV series The Lineup, which I don't remember that TV show. That's not one that I watched, but I definitely do remember Bonanza. And next up, we've got the Monkees theme. Now, the B-side of this is one that we've covered before, but this being a Flashback Records, it's a reissue. It's not unusual to see the same song pop up over and over. So, but this is the first time I think we've seen the Monkees theme in this series of videos I've been doing. The B-side being Last Train to Clarksville, and I know that we saw 45 of that, but I think it was an original one and not a Flashback reissue. And here's one. We've had some Ray Stevens previously. I think we even had some earlier in this box. But I don't know this song. Moonlight Special with a B-side of Just So Proud to Be Here. So those are completely new ones to me. But what a nice, colorful, interesting label there with the album melting on a tree branch. That's kind of cool. And I know he was kind of country, so maybe this isn't comedy. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. It is a heavy gauge 45. Man, this thing is heavy. Noticeably heavier than any of the other 45s that I have done recently. There's a nice Capitol logo there for you. The little bitty normal one down there that we see all the time. And this is getting into some comedy records here, and Stan Freberg doing Christmas Dragnet. I vaguely remember this. I couldn't quote any of it to you, but I do know I've heard it before. And the B-side of this being Christmas Dragnet again, but it is noted part 2 up here. So it's Christmas Dragnet part 1 and Christmas Dragnet part 2. They just didn't label it that way down here. So that's kind of interesting that they did it up off of the side there. Next up, we've got one I've never heard before, but Here Comes Fatty Claus, Rudolph and the Gang. Clearly a comedy record, Christmas themed, with a B-side of Kommt sie Klaus Fatnik. I'm guessing that's German, but I couldn't swear to it, even though I have some history with Germany. I don't really speak it anymore. Next up, we've got a classic, Gene Autry doing Here Comes Santa Claus. Now, I'm not sure if that's the one that we're all really familiar with, but I'm sure you've heard of Gene Autry. He's definitely a classic early country and western singer. It says October 1947, so we're definitely going back long before my time. And the B-side of that being Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That one's from 49. So, like I said, probably not the versions we know and love, but definitely songs that you know if you don't love them. And then next up, we've got a Jingle Bell Rock. And I think we had a Jingle Bell Rock in an earlier box, but it wasn't the Bobby Helms version. It was the one from the 60s with a female vocalist. Can't think of her name at the moment. So I'm pretty sure we did have a Jingle Bell Rock, but not this one. And the B-side of this being Captain Santa Claus. So, yeah, we're kind of riding the edge here between novelty, comedy, and Christmas. Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Four Seasons, Ranky Valley. And the B-side of that being Christmas Tears. Oh, I guess that's what you get when you don't get what you want. And then this one's really cool. I had never heard of this one, never seen it before, didn't even know about it. George Thorogood doing Rock and Roll Christmas. I was really surprised to come across this one. I probably would have thrown it on when I first got it, or at least wanted to, because I am a big George Thorogood fan. But I am not aware of that ever appearing on any of his albums. I could be mistaken. Maybe it was something he did for one of these compilation albums that had a number of artists doing Christmas songs. But I just don't know it. And the B-side being New Year's Eve Party. So there you go. 2 Hollywood-themed tracks from George from 1983. Very happy to have that because, like I said, big George Thorogood fan. And along with it came this nice... Even got the Christmas trees on the side tag for the jukebox. So I wish I had a jukebox. I thought about buying one over the years, come close a couple of times, but I've got a nice turntable, really good quality turntable, but not a jukebox. So here is an interesting one. Dave Rose and his orchestra doing The Stripper. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. B-side of that being Love is a Love is a mini splendored thing. Okay. And what do you follow up The Stripper with? Well, how about Herb Alpert Rise? Yeah, I know the song well, but wouldn't definitely say it's on top of my list of favorites. B-side being, you pronounce it, Monomore, Arna, what? I don't know. I can't say it. I'm just not getting it spit out at the moment. But this did have a really cool 45 sleeve for Angelina, which is not here, but at least it's Herb Alpert and an A&M sleeve, so we were close to having the right one. And then I've got another copy of Rise from Herb Alpert in a standard A&M record sleeve. So, and it has the exact same song on the back of it. You tell me how it's pronounced. I don't know. And it's kind of appropriate. George Harrison, I don't want to do it. That would apply to me trying to pronounce that last B-side song. I just don't want to do it. I've never heard this song either, but it's from Porky's Revenge. Surprisingly, I guess George Harrison did a song for the soundtrack, and the B-side of that, this is another one of those double artist 45s. Got Dave Edmunds doing Queen of the Hop, also from Porky's Revenge. So I watched Porky's not too long ago, but I haven't watched Porky's 2 or 3 in a long time. So I might just have to throw Porky's Revenge on and see if I can find those songs in there. So here we got another one of these nice MCA rainbow sleeves, and the disc is correct in it. But we got Great Gosh Almighty, the theme from Down and Out in Beverly Hills, subtitled It's a Matter of Time. So not familiar with this either. I do know Little Richard. I know who he is, and I do have the film Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Remember it being pretty good. It's got Bette Midler and what's his name in it? That guy. Not Richard Dreyfuss, but the other guy, the one that plays the bum. Nick Nolte. Yeah. Great film. Really entertaining film. And B-side of this is Charlie Midnight doing The Ride. So it's another one with 2 different artists on a 45. So, but they do that a lot with soundtrack 45s. You do see that. That's not uncommon. They'll pull 2 songs off the soundtrack by 2 different artists and put them out on a 45. So that's not really that unusual. Here we've got Patti LaBelle doing New Attitude, which was from Beverly Hills Cop, which I've got a number of 45s in Beverly Hills Cop. It had a lot of songs on the soundtrack that were rather popular at the time. And then Harold Faltermeyer doing The Shootout, which is, I think, just a musical number in the background, one of the action scenes. But that is listed as the B-side. Those were clearly marked with an A and B side for us. Thank you very much. Now we got Rolls Royce doing Car Wash. Might be a little hard for you to see that. It's hard for me to see it. Sometimes the camera does pick it up a little better, especially when we're talking these silver on blacks. But working at the car wash, baby. And the B-side of that was a song called Water. Well, I guess it's appropriate. You can't have a car wash without having water now, can you? Moving on, we're getting to some more obscure stuff. Black Superman Muhammad Ali by Johnny Wakelin and the Kinshasa Band. Okay. I do remember hearing the song on the radio, especially back in the day. And the B-side of that being Bang the Drum. I don't know if that's the Bang the Drum that we'd recognize. Going back to 74, I seem to remember a song real popular about banging a drum in the 80s. But that's probably two entirely different songs that we're talking about there. And here's an Isaac Hayes. It's rather interesting. The theme from Shaft. And I did like the Shaft films. I have all three of the early Shaft films. I also have the remake, and while I do really like the guy that did the remake, I wasn't as impressed with it as I was the original Shaft film. So take that for what it is. And yeah, I should know his name. I'm just pulling a blank. I'm actually a pretty good fan of his. The guy that did the remake, the re-envisioning one that they had, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. But Isaac Hayes is on the B-side of this too, theme from The Men. But it's an instrumental track. That's kind of interesting, and I am not familiar with the movie called The Men. So I am familiar with and do know Shaft, but not The Men. So that's going to wrap this episode up, and we will be back with some more interesting things for you in the next episode. Please join us.